Hi everybody, my name is Nadia and I study translation and interpretation at Supertech Institute. So, I'm going to talk about my personal opinion of a book that I started to read some weeks ago. The name of this book is a Spanish book, so the name is La interfaz de traducción, formación de traductores y nuevas tecnologías. I tried to translate the name, and that's my result. Translation interface, translators, training, and new technologies by Jesus Torres Rey. Del Rey, yes. This author currently works at the Department of Translation and Interpretation and University of Salamanca, or Salamanca University, doing researches in semiotic, philology, and computing in social and science, arts, and humanities. His current project called ECOS, ECOS, which means objectual and social approach to the teaching of localization. Well, that was a bit information about the author because I couldn't find more about him, but that's the main idea. Okay, so continue with the book. The basis, the basis information or the main idea of this book is technology plus translators labor. Okay, we know that with technology we get informed about what is happening in the world and what more different topics, entertainment, social, political, and with that we can increase our knowledge that it's so important for a translator. Why? Because translator to need to get informed and be into different items. For instance, if we have a client customer that need to translate a political information, and he or she give you the file, so we started to translate literally. I don't think so. That is why we need to get informed before doing the correct or properly translation. Okay, we can increase our knowledge in different topics as I mentioned, historical, about culture, psychology too, science. Okay, and when I was reading, I found sentences, or in this case a concept of translation. That is why, and I would like to read you. Okay, he defines traduction like this: complex activity which includes simultaneously a series of questions as linguistic, cultural, ethical aspects. As I told you, that's true. Linguistic because you have to know the grammar of the languages that you are working, and that your how you say your original language to the final languages final text. I mean, um, to to know, you need to, how can I say that? I'm in blank. Okay, the next aspect is cultural. Yes, that is true. You don't know what kind of file you are going to translate, and ethical aspects to involve here. The third point would be uh, that question. I like it, and I would like to share what are the real aptitudes that we should learn in the career as translator. That's a good question. Yes, I know. First, critical reading. That is analyzing what a text means. You need to understand, analyze the text. If you don't know a meaning of a word, uh, they would change all that idea that you are getting informed or catching the idea, and that's so important. The other, currency currency and translation. Yeah, that's important because all of the text have an order. Grammar have an order, has an order. And a concept that I would like to share in this point is a continuity of senses of the outcome of combining concept and relation into a network composed of knowledge space centered around main topics. What it means? The order. uh, all of this, all of this with the ability to check and remake correction. All of these points would help you to analyze your mistakes in the text. And point or idea number 4 that I would like to share too is that it's interesting. If a student can take notes to translate with pencil and paper, they won't do it with the latest computer tools. My personal opinion, what it means, or what does it mean? What does it mean? That all of this life that you would like to start doing and get done, always you start from zero base. You should have a base to grow. So if we don't know how to write with pen or with pencil and paper, so you don't know how to use pencil and paper. So what is supposed to do? And you are going to work with the latest network. Yeah, I know how to script the keyboard. Yeah, that's okay. But what about your pace? You need to you need to know how the word is. It is a correct way to write it. To write. If you use tools, technology, obviously they would be automatic correction there, and you started to clearing. Imagine that you are in a press conference, and you just take notes or just um, record the interview. So then you have to rewrite rewrite all of these question and answers. So um, how can I write this word? I don't know. And so that is so important. Yeah, maybe it sounds weird or out of the point, but all of this has a base and that's so important. Start from zero. This point I would like. The intelligence is still very necessary to choose a correctly keywords to translate properly. Yes, that's important too. Why? Because if you know to difference the use of a noun, the use of a verb, you will know how word, how word, what word, excuse me, what word you will know the correct word that fits in your idea or sentences that you are translating. For example, um, ah, I heard on a new last week, you know, the basic conversation. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you too. It's a pleasure to know you. Okay, I don't know if properly to say that, but I heard it's like it's a like to know you. It's okay to say that for me. Um, I'm accustomed to heard or to say nice to meet you. Nice to meet you too. It's like to know you too. It sounds for me. It sounds for me so literal, and you will know. For example, if in Spanish we say "me caes bien," how how would you translate that? How would you translate that? Me caes bien. You do me well. You you fall down me well. You falling down me well. Me caes bien. So, for the other person that speak English, it will sound weird, or you will create an awkward situation. So that is why. And what is the real translation or the correct translation for that phrase? Me caes bien. He or she get on well with me. Mhm. If we read about different and not only just noun, verb, adverb, no, there exists phrasal verb, compound nouns. That if we, if we put together two words, the means change. Not a lot or not much. Sometimes, yes. Sometimes, in some cases, yes. But we know more about and we get informed, excuse me. And that's all the takes that I all the notes that I all the notes that I took from the reading. I haven't finished it, but it was so interesting for my career, and I'm grateful. So that book I couldn't extend the permission to keep with me, and that's all I have. Does not help you a lot. That I hope that does not help me too. And that's all. Thanks for watching.